welcome to the West Ham Transfer Rumours Show. I know what you're thinking. It's only November, so even December yet. It's over a month to go till the window opens. Calm it down. First of all, there's plenty of rumours. Trust me, we've got about 10 names here to get through. And secondly, clubs won't know what they're going to do in January. You won't change my mind on this. There's only 2 Premier League clubs between now and the 1st of January. Moyes and every other manager will have decided who they're wanting to offload. So, for example, Vladimir Coufal's been strongly linked with a move away from West Ham. We'll get on to that. I'm not sure if Coufal was playing against Arsenal and play well, is Moyes suddenly going to go, well, I'm not going to sell him anymore? I'm not sure. I think the minds have already been made up about players that they want to move on, and also which positions they wish to target in January. So it could be a winger, it could be a right back, whatever. And between now and then, it's a case of let's work on our shortlist. Let's identify the players that we want for the positions that we've already decided we want. So is it too early for the transfer rumours? I'm not sure. I'm more inclined to believe them that when they come this early. It's when the transfer rumours pop up, a day before the window's open, new transfer rumours. I think, well, that's convenient, isn't it? Because the club hasn't just decided on the 31st of December, do you know what, we quite fancy that centre-back. Well, rubbish. If your contacts are that good, you would have known about that centre-back a month ago when we were scouting them. Anyway, cynical, I know, but there we are. So let's crack on with the transfer rumours, shall we? And we're going to kick it off with the big one. Noa Lang Wan-Bissaka looks set to be leaving Man United. Doesn't take a genius to work that out. Can't get a sniff of game time under Erik ten Hag. Dalot's been superb in that right back position for them. Wan-Bissaka needs to leave, and it looks likely he will leave in January. So where is he going to go? Well, he's been linked to West Ham for 10 million. I think we need a right back. That's the position I would like to see us sort in January. Is Wan-Bissaka the solution? I don't think so. I think Wan-Bissaka is a really good Premier League right back. I think for 10 million, I think that's a bargain. Whoever gets Wan-Bissaka and needs Wan-Bissaka is getting a bargain for 10 million. Homegrown, defensively solid. His weakness is going forward. We've already got right backs at this club that are really strong defensively, but not great going forward. Coufal is brilliant defensively. His positioning is fantastic. His commitment, he's hard working. He's good at. Coufal is brilliant at absolutely everything, except his end product just seems lacking for the last 18 months. Same with Ben Johnson. Athletic, fantastic defensively. Positioning, he's really reliable, but in possession, that's where his game isn't up to scratch really. So Wan-Bissaka, I think, almost fits the mould of Johnson and Coufal. I'd almost rather just keep them two and save the 10 million. If we get a right back, and I hope we do, I think they've got to have that end product, because we've seen Moyes use wing backs this season as well. We don't have one at the minute. Our best right wing back is Harton Ashby, who looks set to be leaving in January transfer window. So we need somebody that can play wing back as well as right back. I'm not sure Coufal or Ben Johnson can do that. Unsure about Tilo Kehrer at wing back, although I'm inclined to see him play there. I'd rather see him there as a conventional right back itself. Plus, I think the demand of the role at West Ham has changed because of the introduction of Gianluca Scamacca. I think with Antonio playing up front as a fullback, you can put in an average cross and Antonio will make it look good. Antonio's probably better at making runs and getting on the end of a half-arse cross from your fullback. I think Antonio's better at that than what Scamacca is. I think he demands more of an elite cross. It's got to be on the money. It's got to find Scamacca. So I think we've got to get people in those fullback positions that are a little bit better than what we've currently got. And I'm not sure that's Wan-Bissaka. Good signing for someone. Crystal Palace, probably. But at West Ham, I'm not too sure. Moving on to Brereton Diaz, and the rumour is that we're not rumoured to be linked to him. The latest reports suggest that David Moyes does not want Brereton Diaz. Obviously, we know all about him, scored against us in the Carabao Cup. Should be available for 10, 15, 20 million, between 10 and 20 million certainly. It's just a case of will Blackburn sell them because they're sort of in with a chance of promotion. And will they cash in now? He's obviously got just over 6 months to go in his contract, so ideally they're going to want to offload him. And they've got to do risk and reward here, haven't they, Blackburn? Do we cash in on Brereton Diaz, or do we keep him, let him go for free, and make a real good effort at promotion? But I think this is where you then have to double back on yourself and say, but are we good enough for promotion, even with Brereton Diaz at the club? I would be surprised if he's a Blackburn player when the January transfer window closes. I expect him to be on the move. Will it be West Ham? Well, the reports suggest no. David Moyes doesn't want him. And I think that's a bit of a shame, really. because, you know, he's homegrown, because of his age, a really good age, his experience, still scoring goals this season, can play across that front three, can cover our left wing position. You know, Benrahma's starting to make it his own, really, but who's the backup to Saïd Benrahma? Well, not for now, possibly Kone, but, you know, given his absence recently, I think he's proven we can't rely on him. So actually, another winger in the January transfer window is possibly something we're going to have to look at, especially when you consider Jared Bowen's lack of form so far this season. Continuing, he keeps getting played by David Moyes. Part of that is probably because of lack of competition. So actually, someone like Diaz would be quite a clever signing for West Ham. But the report suggests David Moyes does not want him. Now, before we do more transfer rumours, and there's still plenty to get through, don't worry, can I point you in the direction of our online store? The 12 days of Christmas has come to an end, although one offer is still valid. I'll tell you about that in a second. Before I do, the Christmas jumper is in stock. We've got every size available, but we've got limited numbers in every size. Anyone that pre-ordered one, it's on its way. It should be with you tomorrow, Wednesday. But if you didn't get one on the pre-order and you want to get a Hammers Chat Christmas jumper, head over to hammerschatstore.com. We have limited numbers available, so we'll sell out of them. And also, in our 12 days of Christmas, we had this t-shirt, the Vaz t-shirt, celebrating that iconic goal and that iconic moment as well. These t-shirts are just £10, practically cost price for us. Again, limited numbers. Once they're gone, they're gone. There's still plenty stock remaining at this point though. So if you fancy a Christmas jumper or t-shirt or something else in the store, do go and have a little look. I'll put a link to the store in the description of this video as well as the pinned comments. Now moving on to Noa Lang. Talented player. There is no doubt about it. And I've got to separate the player and the man here. So the player, let's talk about the player. Winger playing for Club Brugge, really good age. In the Netherlands World Cup squad, top talent. Would I love that player at West Ham? 100%. I think he'll do it in the Premier League. I think he will end up in the Premier League, whether it's January or next summer. The move seems inevitable. Talented player. Now let's move over to the other side of it, which is the man behind the player, if you like. No, not keen. I think his attitude at times, I think it's going to prevent him from going on to be as good as he could be. When he was at Ajax, well, part of the reason he left Ajax is because of his attitude towards players, to management as well. I remember that Ajax game, he fell out with Ten Hag. Well, he didn't fall, well, he did. Tadic, captain of Ajax, gave him instructions and he just ignored him. He just, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to carry on doing what I want. So then Ten Hag pulled him up on it for not listening to Tadic. Then he started arguing with Ten Hag as well. It's not a pleasant thing to see, especially of a player of such young age as well, learning the trade still. So his sort of reputation was not tarnished. Oh, it was a little bit tarnished, I guess. Playing for Club Brugge, he's showcasing his talent out there. And again, is some of his outlook on life isn't really what I want to see at West Ham. I'm not going to go into it. Just Google it yourself, have a read yourself, make up your own mind. But there's stuff I've heard him say and seen him say and stories about him and that just makes me think, oh no, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want that West Ham. The player, yes please, like I said, incredibly talented player, will cost a lot of money. 25 million is probably roughly the price tag that clubs are being linked to him. And West Ham are being linked to him as well as Leeds United and Arsenal. Us three are the three clubs with strongest links to him. Like I said, the move to the Premier League feels inevitable. I don't think he'll come to West Ham. I don't believe this rumour for the reason I've just given. It's one of them. I just think, I look at the big picture. I just can't see that. I can't see that being a transfer that we would sanction at this club. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below of all the transfer rumours in the show. But Google it yourself. Have a little look. Raphael Guerreiro. We all know about him. Dortmund left back, Portuguese, currently with Portugal in the World Cup. Strangely, we're being linked to him. I don't believe it for a second. I think I would love him at West Ham though. A real attacking left back, decent pace, very athletic, decent cross, decent shot on him as well. Ticks all the boxes actually. He's a left back. I don't know how to describe it. Do you know when you watch clubs that you're not affiliated to and you see players and you become almost like a fan of the player to some extent? Memphis Depay is one of those players for me as well. He's just a player that I've admired for a long time, and it's one of them you watch, you think, oh, I'd love him at West Ham. It's very unlikely, it's never going to happen, but it's just one of those players, and he's one of those players for me. Guerreiro is one of those players that when I see him play for Dortmund, it's like, oh, I just love him at West Ham. Just an exciting player to watch. from that left back position. But despite the rumours, not sure I believe this one. I think there's better options out there for West Ham's long-term future, if you like, for the same price. Although I think some of them moved in the summer, Calvin Bassey. But Guerreiro, I would love to see him at the London Stadium. But unfortunately, not sure I believe the transfer rumour. Tosin Adarabioyo, we all know him as well. Fulham centre-back contract runs out in this summer. And strangely, this report was tied in with Mark Noble, about how Mark Noble begins as sporting director role in January at West Ham. Mark Noble's been quite vocal about how he's going to be involved in the transfers going forward, and essentially when there's a potential target, he's going to explain what West Ham means to the fans, to that person, and then go from there. And if they don't want to come, they don't want to come, kind of thing. Very admirable. Whether it's possible or not, we'll have to wait and see. But I think his heart's in the right place. I think that's a polite way of saying I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Your heart's in the right place, but I really think you're doing a good job. It's a very backhanded compliment, isn't it? Heart in the right place. But in regards to this one, do we need a centre-back? I think we do. Is Adarabioyo a good centre-back? I think he is. Like I said, 6 months ago in his contract, puts Fulham in an awkward position. One of those players, though, that we got offered a few years ago for buttons. I can't remember if it was 1.5 million or 3 million. Forgive me here. One of those numbers is what David Sullivan, when he was at Manchester City, David Sullivan got offered Adarabioyo for that fee, 1.5, 3 million. Anyway, Sullivan rejected it. He's gone to Fulham, and now here we are. Been linked to him quite a lot as well, actually. It feels every transfer window we have been linked to him. Certainly in the summer, last January, I'm sure as well. But we're probably going to need a senior centre-back in the January transfer window. Maybe we won't, but it sort of ties in with the next one, which is Craig Dawson, and the fact that he is still wishing to leave. Apparently the club have offered him a new contract. He's also only got 7 months to go on his deal. His deal's up in the summer. Apparently West Ham have offered, or certainly sounded out, Dawson about potentially signing a new contract with the club, but he still has desires to move up north. One of our subscribers made a really good comment on one of the videos regarding Craig Dawson, saying, I wonder what his motivation is at the minute, because he's not been great so far this season since he's come back from injury. The last few games, this is not the start of the season when he came back. He missed the start of the season, then he came back. I thought he was really, really good, and then he was injured again, and then he's come back again. And I think that second block, I think he's been quite poor actually. The last few games have been pretty poor. And one of the subscribers made a really good point. He said, "But I wondered if the sackings at Aston Villa and Wolves maybe impacted him, because obviously he was looking set to join Wolves on transfer deadline day, and Bruno Lage has been dismissed, and Steven Gerrard, Aston Villa were strongly linked to him as well. Steven Gerrard's been sacked, so now Unai Emery and the other guy that I can't pronounce has gone into these clubs. Perhaps they're not going to want Craig Dawson. So the two likely destinations he had in the summer to get closer to his family have disappeared. So is that going to impact him? And I think it's a very fair question. He was just asking the question, or she was asking the question, and I think it's a very fair one to do as well. It'll be interesting. But yeah, Craig Dawson's still being linked with a move away. Boulaye Dia. Now, can't pronounce that name. What is that club? Let me find him. Where's Boulaye Dia? Salernitana. Is that an Italian club? Does it look Italian? Yeah. Salernitana. There you go. That's them. That club. How you pronounce that? Anyway, Boulaye Dia is on loan there. He went to Villarreal in the summer 2021. Didn't do great. He's gone on loan to this Italian club. 6 goals in 14 appearances for him at the World Cup. Started for Senegal against the Netherlands, and he got substituted. I only seen bits of that game. It's the only game I've missed so far, and the reports are that West Ham are scouting him at the World Cup. That Moyes is obviously over there as well. Now, I don't believe these things when it says, this clubs are watching these players at the World Cup. Really? You're going to base your decision on signing a player a tournament environment, a festival environment in a really hot country, playing 3 games a week? You're going to base your thoughts on him on that rubbish. It's two things are different. The competitions are different. The surroundings are different. Families aren't there. Well, some countries have them. But you know what I'm trying to say? It's two completely different things. You can certainly watch them, but to decide on players based off a tournament, I think is a very, for good or bad, either to dismiss them or to watch a player and think, you know what, he looks fantastic because he's had a really good tournament, we're going to buy him. We've all done it before, haven't we, West Ham, Barreira? It's a very dangerous thing to do. So the reports are that West Ham are still looking at Boulaye Dia as a possible option. But again, he's on loan. I don't know if he's on a 6-month loan. He's on loan till the end of the season. It seems unrealistic. It seems one of these players that we're going to keep getting linked to. I don't even think there's any interest there. Because if there was, and he was available on loan in the summer, you'd imagine, A, we would have known about it, and B, we would have tried to get him on loan, right? Is it just me, or does that make sense? Anyway, we're being linked to him. Jordi Alba, yes, the Barcelona left back. I can't really tell you anything about him, to be honest with you. Whether he's still good or not, he was once one of the best left backs in world football. Getting on a bit now. Does he still have the ability? I'm not too sure. I don't know. I don't watch it. I'm sure one of you guys will tell me in the comments, but I hope you do actually. Please do tell me in the comments. And lastly is Vladimir Coufal being linked with a move away again. This time, so Sky Sports Germany have been leading with this story. Sky Sports Germany have been the ones reporting Coufal to Bayer Leverkusen. Now, I've dismissed that rumour in a previous video a couple of weeks ago. Without going into it too much, I don't really think Leverkusen need him. But anyway, but would West Ham sell him? I think that's a different question. I think the answer to that would be yes. Also, coming to an end of his contract, cashing in on January is the last time we can sell him if we want to. Even if we want to get 3-4 million for him, it just adds into the kitty to then go get another right back. Possibly Bissaka for 10 million. Whether I want him or not is irrelevant here. It's would David Moyes want him? I could see Wan-Bissaka being a David Moyes target. I could see David Moyes wanting Wan-Bissaka. So we were able to, in theory, sell Coufal, spend 7 million net and get Wan-Bissaka in. I can see stuff like that happening. But, so anyway, Sky Sports Germany have been leading with this. Well, it's starting to creep over into our Sky Sports because now Darmesh, our friend Darmesh, has basically stated that he could be on his way out. Now, I think it's more of an opinion. Reading between the lines from what Darmesh was saying, it was more of an opinion rather than what he knew. Because he was basically saying, well, when you look at Coufal's season, 7 Premier League starts, but they became, in the first half of the games that we've seen so far, and more recently, Ben Johnson's been playing ahead of him, and more so recently, Thilo Kehler's been chosen ahead of him. So you could argue he's actually our third choice right back presently, Vladimir Coufal. Not a great position to be into. So the rumours are that Coufal is off ski, that he could be heading to Bayer Leverkusen. Like I said, still don't believe that. Do I believe he could be off? Yes, but to Leverkusen, not so much. But anyway, there you have it. I told you there was a lot of transfer rumours to get through today. I shall be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'll be rambling on about, but I'll be rambling on about something anyway. I'm off to go watch some more World Cup football, and I shall catch you tomorrow. But if you've enjoyed this transfer rumour show, please do drop a like by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new to Hamish Chat, and if you want a Christmas jumper or a Vazte t-shirt, or there's loads of other things. Socks. We got the socks. They're in the box, obviously. HamishChatStore.com. Please do check it out. Grab anything that you're wanting ahead of Christmas, and I'll catch you tomorrow.